Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Devils TV. Now this is your Manchester United versus Sevilla first leg match preview. So let's just get right into the video. So first of all, Casemiro is back. We finally get to see Casemiro back in the United shirt after this ridiculous suspension he served in English football. But Casemiro could also not be playing in the next leg against Sevilla because if he gets a yellow card in Thursday's game, then he'll be missing the second leg. And I swear to God, Casemiro, if he gets another suspension, it's ridiculous, to be honest. But you know, you've just got to beat what's in front of you. And I do think that Sevilla, despite their poor form in LaLiga this season, we can't underestimate them. They're a Spanish side. United have always, throughout our history, have had issues with Spanish sides. That's not been the case this season, with us beating the likes of Real Sociedad, Barcelona, and most recently Real Betis. But Sevilla, we've never beaten them in our history. They're a very good side. I think we've drawn 1 and lost 3 in all fixtures against Sevilla or something. I saw some stat like that. And Sevilla, even though they are a decent team, they just have been struggling in the LaLiga this season. I don't think they'll get relegated, but looking at the table right now, they're currently sitting 13th in the LaLiga, and they're currently 5 points away from relegation. So I would say from the place of 13th all the way down to 17th, there's literally 5 points difference. So it's kind of like the Premier League this season, the La Liga, where it's so many teams in the relegation battle. And Sevilla have probably just fallen into that area, and that's probably why they're being seen as they're not doing very well this season. But forget Sevilla, let's talk about Manchester United, because let's talk about the actual positives about going into this game. Anthony Martial is probably going to start in this game, I honestly do think. Sancho and Antony, who have been playing brilliant, I'd say, in the last 2 games. Sancho is starting to get better and better with each game, I think, and I think he definitely keeps his place in this game, as I don't think Marcus Rashford will play at all. I don't think Erik ten Hag is going to risk an injury or make it worse. I don't think he'll even be in the squad. I think Rashford is going to sit this game out, and Erik ten Hag's just going to have to be like, right, just got to leave Rashford out on the side, and we've just got to only beat what we've got. And I do think that the front three will consist of Sancho, Antony, and Anthony Martial, which I do think is going to be a quite mobile front three, and I do think that United are going to have to be going quite attacking in this game. I mean, Jadon Sancho against Everton created 5 chances during the game, and I think that he's doing really well, especially coming back. He seems to be getting sharper and better, and it's good to see. It isn't the red hot form Rashford's been in, and that's what I think everyone's expecting to see from Sancho. Everyone's expecting to see the Sancho who's been compared to Marcus Rashford, or the Dortmund version of Sancho. Sancho is going through a phase at the moment, and he just needs to just focus on his football and just focus, pretty much. That's all he's got to do, and take game by game and get better and better and more confident. And I'm rooting for Sancho, and I do think that is going to be a very big impact on this game. Also, Antony. I mean, the link-up between Antony and Wan-Bissaka at the moment is absolutely brilliant. And Wan-Bissaka is also another one that deserves to start in this game, and I do think he will start. But the relationship that Antony and Wan-Bissaka have built over these last few games as well, they seem to be doing well, in my opinion, especially over the last 2 games with the Brentford win and Everton win. They seem to be quite dominant. They seem to be knowing where each other are before they even make the move. I've seen Antony make a couple of through balls, and then Aaron Wan-Bissaka just running onto the ball and either making a pass back to Antony or creating space or something. It seems like they're developing quite a well partnership. But speaking about Antony, I see so much criticism about him, about how he's a one-trick pony, about how his finishing needs to improve, and yet that Antony is more confident using his primary left foot. I do honestly think that Antony cannot be the only player who should be criticised for his finishing ability. I think the entirety of Manchester United do, because without Marcus Rashford this season, United have hardly scored any goals. And I know Bruno's got about 9 goals, Antony's got about 7 goals, but realistically, apart from Rashford, where have our goals been coming from? And you can't say otherwise, because Rashford's got 28, and then our second top scorer is Bruno Fernandes with 9. Like, that's literally, like, how you've got to look at it. So I think the entirety of Manchester United need to work on our finishing, and I do think that United are going to do well in this game, and I am going to go for a 2-0 victory for Manchester United. But honestly, I do think that United need to start finishing their chances a lot better, because we created 21 chances. We had 21 shots against Everton in the first half, and we only got 1 goal from it. Yes, it was McTominay's goal, which was a very good goal, but I do honestly think that United need to either just think before we do, or make that extra pass, or just create a bit more space, and maybe we'll start scoring more goals. But I do think it'll be a 2-0 victory on Thursday night against Sevilla, and I'm looking forward to the game. But anyway, let's talk a bit about Sevilla. Let's talk about a few of their key players and a few of their dangerous players. I will have to go for Nesserai, I think his name is. He's a Moroccan striker. He's their main guy. He's their main talisman. And he seems to be, I think he's currently got 9 league goals for Sevilla this season. He seems to be doing well. He had a good World Cup as well with Morocco. So yeah, obviously we have to be careful about him. I don't know much about Bunu, but I do know as well from Morocco he had a good World Cup. But I don't know if he's been playing for Seville recently. I'm honestly not too sure. You've got even Rakitic, a Barcelona legend who was brilliant in that midfield in the Messi, Suarez and Neymar era. We've got Marcos Acuna, who is obviously Acuna Matata. But anyway, Acuna is obviously a very good fullback, as we know. Manchester United loanee Alex Telles, who's also a very underrated player, especially when he was in a Manchester United shirt. I thought Telles was a very good player for us. He was a very good rotational option, but obviously Eric Ten Hag didn't have any plans for him. But he is available for this game, and I do think that if he does play, he will probably be a more attacking role. That's if Sevilla want to go toe to toe with Manchester United, though. And then the last few players I just kind of want to mention on is Lucas Ocampos, who actually, realistically, it was a bit of a weird transfer story about Lucas Ocampos as well, is that in the summer he was supposed to be sold to Ajax. So after United bought Antony from Ajax, Lucas Ocampos was supposed to be the Antony replacement for Ajax. But then the deal fell through, and he actually went to the Netherlands to actually go there and become the player. And the deal fell through as he was going into the country of the Netherlands. So it's a crazy story, that really. And then obviously I want to talk about one more player, which is Bryan Gil, who is a Spurs player but is currently out on loan in Sevilla. And he is a decent player, good prospect. But I'd honestly say I've just mentioned about 5 or 6 players there. And obviously, we can't take them for granted because they are in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, like Manchester United are. So we can't take them for granted, and we can't see this as an easy step. But United have already beaten 3 Spanish teams this season in Europa League. We've beaten Real Sociedad in the group stage. We've beaten Barcelona. We've beaten Real Betis, and now we're going against Sevilla. And it seems that the quality that we're facing is going down and down and down, especially with these Spanish teams. But obviously, like I said, we can't underestimate them. But I do think Manchester United are going to breeze past this game, and it is at Old Trafford. I am going for a 2-0 victory, but this is my predicted 11. So I think, first of all, it's going to have to be David De Gea, because it's David De Gea, he's our main goalkeeper, and the rest is, everything else is said. Aaron Wan-Bissaka keeps his right-back position. Like I said, I think the partnership him and Antony are developing is becoming very dangerous, very exciting, and I just hope Wan-Bissaka stays, to be honest. I'm starting to get to that point now where I know he's probably going to leave in the summer. I actually don't want him to leave, but if he does leave, then it will be a bit frustrating for me, because I do think that Wan-Bissaka has been the better fullback out of him and Diogo Dalot, especially after the World Cup. I do think that Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez are the centre-back partnership. I would make a case for Harry Maguire and Martinez, but Eric Ten Hag didn't give any notice on why Varane didn't start in the game against Everton. But if Maguire does play, I wouldn't be surprised if Varane is kept out of the squad, because Maguire played really, really well against Everton, I think. And I personally think that, and I've noticed that Varane can't play 2 or 3 games every 7 days. He doesn't have the best stamina, I don't think, or the longevity in playing. So if Varane's just being rested or he is on the bench, then I wouldn't be surprised if I do see Harry Maguire. With Luke Shaw obviously being out injured as well with a hamstring injury, we'll probably see Malacia, which I'm actually excited for because, I mean, if you've watched my most recent videos, you know I've been banging on about Malacia, about even before Luke Shaw get injured. I think Malacia should have been playing before Luke Shaw. I think he is a bit, I think he just deserves a chance, and he's getting his chance now. He got his chance against Brentford, he got his chance against Everton, and now he gets to show it in the European competition stage. Obviously it is the BTEC European, but because we're not in the Champions League. But at the end of the day, I do think that Malacia is going to have a good shift, and it depends who he faces, whether it's Suso or Campos, if Eric Lamela plays out wide. It depends who who the Sevilla manager actually plays on that wide hand side. But speaking of Sevilla as well, is that in their most recent game, they drew 2-2. And I was like, okay, how have they drawn this game? They got 2 red cards in that game. And they played with 10 men for 70 minutes. I mean, if you want to look at stats, here's a stat for you. That Sevilla have got 11 cards in LaLiga this season. So if you're a betting person, I'd put on some booking points for this match, because no doubt Sevilla are going to try and just, I wouldn't say take out Manchester United, but they're probably going to try and antagonise Manchester United by trying to get Bruno a yellow card or Casemiro, because if any of our players in Bruno or Casemiro gets a yellow card, then they miss the second leg. And we know that Spanish teams can have a card up their sleeve, and they do always have a backup plan. And I do think if Casemiro or Bruno got suspended in that second leg, it would be a much harder fixture. Going on to the midfield, I do think Casemiro does return, but here's where I say something now. I do think that Bruno Fernandes and Scott McTominay stay in the current positions, and unfortunately Sabitzer does get dropped. And I'm not saying that due to form, but I'm saying that Casemiro's coming back now. McTominay's been playing better out of the two, and the way Bruno's been playing in this deeper role actually might work now. If he plays next to Casemiro, who does majority of the defensive duels, the defensive actions, Bruno can then be that deep line playmaker that we've been seeing him play really well in over the last few games. And Scott McTominay can be bombing forward the way we know he likes to do, because I've been saying for ages that Scott McTominay is not a good natural holding midfielder, but going forward as a more box-to-box or attacking midfielder, he is brilliant and he's very dangerous, and he knows how to score a goal. He knows he's got a good shot on him, and he scored very good goals for United in his career. Obviously, he scored against Everton. I remember that, I think about 40-yard goal in the derby against Manchester City. He scores for his national team against Scotland. With Scotland. I do think Scott McTominay keeps his place, and it is going to be a physical battle with Sevilla. So I do think Scott McTominay keeps his place, and I do think that'll be the midfield of McTominay, Casemiro, and Bruno Fernandes. And then front three, I've already said it, it's going to be Sancho, Anthony Martial, and Antony. I do think he's just going to go for a more mobile front three. But I do think that Martial is not going to play the 90 minutes. I do think he'll bring on Weghorst with probably taking him off about 60th minute or so. If we're chasing the game, or we need to, I won't say chasing the game, but if we're 1-0 up or something, I think Erik ten Hag is going to take a step back and be like, right, I can't risk an injury. Martial is still frail, so we've got to keep him protected. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Martial play a full 90 minutes for the rest of the season, because I do think Erik ten Hag is going to manage him a bit differently. But anyway, I don't think that Sevilla are a massive threat. I do think it's just another stepping stone to get further into the Europa League. But I do think Manchester United will win 2-0. I am looking forward to this game. If you are new to this channel, please remember to like, subscribe, and all the rest. If you have made it this far into the video, please subscribe. Please, I'm so used to this. Just like the video and leave a comment, please. Oh my god. But anyway, yes, thank you for watching today's video. And like all the jazz, like the video, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Please just do it, because I just really want to get to 1,000 subscribers. If we honestly, I've said I want to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year or before Red Devils TV 1 year anniversary. But the real challenge is if we go full David Goggins, is that if we get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the season. So we've got literally a month away. So can we do it? I have no idea. But, you know, that's the bit of fun. That's fun about setting yourself a challenge. But yes, if you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure you leave a comment on things I can improve on or your thoughts on how this game is going to turn out. But yes, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.